Allora, qua ci siamo, io spero che l'audio sia... Abbassa la musica.
No, ne sarai tu ufficialmente responsabile. Sulla cavità. È partita l'attrezzatura? Possiamo andare.
Okay, hi.
Yeah, first of all, your impression about easy and generally about this activity teacher.
Well, I'm used to it because I've been doing it for 100 years, you know, so it's very normal for me. But this was a good clinic because the questions were intelligent, and sometimes you can really tell when you're teaching beginners, you know, like real beginners. You get some pretty stupid questions. There were no stupid questions tonight. I mean, everybody seems to be really, they understand what I'm talking about. And, even the ones that didn't understand what I was talking about, you know, in the beginning, I think that I explained it clearly enough for them to have a beginning. And, that's one thing I have to say I'm pretty good at. I'm pretty clear at how I describe music. That's one of my main objectives as a teacher, to be as clear and down to earth as possible so that people can really understand what I'm talking about. And of course, there has to be a certain amount of technical knowledge that music students have. You can't really talk about jazz without talking about certain types of scales and stuff, but tonight we talked about a lot of jazz concepts and didn't really necessarily have to get into the real technical part of the modes and the modes of the melodic minor and the modes of the major scale and the diminished and augmented scales. It didn't seem like they were as interested in that as they were interested in the basic concepts of how to improvise, which I found refreshing, because sometimes all they want to know is about scales, which is something a subject that anybody can teach, any teacher can teach them. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just purely technical. So tonight we got to talk about some stuff that wasn't so completely technical, which I like.
I like very much your approach on the film, more on the film and less on technical.
Yeah, well, I like to see that too, because
you're a musician, you're a mathematician.
Yeah, and I've seen too many guitar clinics where the guys just get up there and just play real fast and try to impress people, and that's not teaching. Yeah. That's more just like showing off, right? And I don't want to do that. I mean, it's fun to play for everybody, but I want to just be as clear as possible so that they'll take something away from the clinic that they can use in their own music. It's really important.
I write for a metal website. I know you like rock music.
That's what I grew up playing.
Yeah. Jimmy Page.
I love Jimmy.
Yeah. Led Zeppelin probably our grandfather.
Sure. Led Zeppelin was my very first big musical inspiration. You know, in fact, that's why I started playing guitar, because when I heard Jimmy Page's solo on Whole Lot of Love, I was like, that's what I want to do.
And nowadays,
sure.
You like it?
Well, I'm not a big fan of tons of notes. You know what I mean? Like when Eddie Van Halen came on the scene, nothing like that had come before him. The ability to play two-hand tapping, you know, the amazing right hand, you know. But Eddie had something very soulful in his playing. You know, I heard tapes of Eddie Van Halen playing before he ever even knew how to do this, and he still sounded great. So he was a very soulful player, and unfortunately, a lot of the people who copied him weren't. You know, they got the technique, but they didn't get the soul and the blues and the heart. You know, so when I hear the kind of heavy metal music where the guys are just playing harmonic minor lines up and down the scale, for me that's very boring. I would rather hear someone, I mean, to me the best guy is Yngwie. I mean, Yngwie plays all that, you know, harmonic minor bullshit but he also can play blues. He has some feel in his playing. You know, he can, yeah, he's a good, yeah, he's a good guitar player. And so many of the metal guys just miss that soulfulness. You know, for them it's not about phrasing and tone. It's just about playing as fast as they can. And I think that's not what I enjoy listening to. For me, that's sort of like circus guitar. It's like you know, you go to the circus, you see it, and then I go, well, that was kind of cool. I'll go back and see it next year. You know, but it's not something I want to see every day. You know, so when I hear those players, I go, fuck, that's amazing. You know, but it's not something I want to listen to every day because it doesn't hit me. You know, like when I hear Stevie Ray Vaughan, I go, I can listen to that every day and not get tired of it because, you know, it speaks to me more.
Yeah. And I think inside the metal world, that's not the problem. And maybe it's a problem of the whole music world. The production of the records.
Yeah, sometimes
inside the metal, there's a problem with a wall of sound.
Yeah.
All the record sounds.
Yeah. They do. I mean, I work with a guy.
It's a problem also for the other kind of music.
Well, it's very formulated, and so is a lot of other kind of music. I can say the same thing about happy jazz. You know, the Kenny G type of jazz. You know, if you listen to the wave, so much of it sounds exactly the same. Same production. No, it's not just metal. It's a lot of different things because people get into doing things from the point of a formula. They say, well, if it worked for them, it'll work for us, right? So everybody tries to copy something that was really famous and popular, you know, and then everybody else tries to copy it, and pretty soon everything sounds the same.
It's very sad, especially for the jazz.
Yeah.
Because the jazz must be the most free kind of
music. Yeah. Well,
all the musicians could be.
I think that there's more versatility in jazz music than there is in rock right now. And if you had have asked me that same question in the 70s, I would disagree. You know, because in the 60s, late 60s and early 70s was a very, very exploratory time for rock and pop music. You know,
I'm writing the story of progressive rock.
Sure.
So,
well, you know, it was a very, you know, really, really creative time.